Hello everyone, my name is Mauve, and welcome back to another D&D video. Have you ever wondered what Monster High would look like as an adventuring party? Well, stay tuned, because I'm about to show you, but stick around for the end, because I want to hear your suggestions on what I should do next for a D&D party. I saw one person ask for Ninjago, and I don't know how to feel about it, but if you guys like it, I might do it. So let's kind of get started on this. So I drew 6 characters for this illustration, and I had to go, of course, with the classic trio, Frankie, Claudine, and Draculaura. And then I kind of poked around and picked 3 more that I really wanted to see in this style. So I picked Twyla, Howleen, and Rebecca. Twyla is one of my absolute favorite characters for Monster High, because I love me a spooky gal with a pink color scheme. Not pink, purple. Sorry, I'm getting my colors mixed up. But as you see, I'm sketching out in a very light pencil and just kind of getting their general body shapes that I'm wanting. Not doing too many details. Rebecca was a little difficult for me to do. And then I go straight into line art. I could have sworn I had one more layer of sketching to do before I went straight into this, but I guess not. I guess I'm a lunatic. Back on my bullshit once again of drawing the clothes immediately. So I guess I'm cracked at anatomy now. Not really. I wanted to go back to an old style that I used to do a lot when I had my old painting program, which was Paint Tool Sci, where I sketched in a light blue, sometimes red. Red was mostly for, like, clothing, but I had to do 2 colors because I was doing 2 characters. But I sketch in a light blue, and then I guess I just immediately go to line art. What I would do I would sketch in blue, I'd lower that opacity, and then I would sketch in red for hair and, like, clothes and stuff, kind of get more of the details down. And technically, sometimes my red sketch could have been the line art already if I just cleaned it up a little bit. But I usually said, no, I'm going to do more line art. I'm going to make it more complicated. And one of the things that people always tell me is the most recognizable about my art style, no matter what, is when I do line art. Not how I draw something. My line art. The way I line art. It baffles me. It baffles me that the way I do line art is recognizable, but tomato, tomato. I had a lot of fun coming up with their outfits. I wanted to give them all a transparent element, and then I tried it with Frankie. I tried to give them, like, a transparent end of the coat, but because it wasn't, like, sleeves or, like, a little skirt thing, it looked really weird, and I didn't like it, and I still kind of regret not committing to trying to find another aspect of their clothing that could have been transparent, because I wanted them all to match. But it's okay. Claudine and Draculaura can be matching. They could have been girlfriends anyway. Now, if you're wondering what all of their D&D classes are, because it's not super apparent, except for maybe Claudine, Frankie, our lovely Frankie, is a wizard. Oh yeah, you heard me. They're a wizard. Not just a wizard. I couldn't decide, but they're either going to be a necromancer or a transmutation wizard. I haven't decided which one I like more, because necromancy is ironic and really funny, but I feel like transmutation fits more. Let me know what you guys think, or if you think they would have been a different class. I'm always curious to hear, other people's opinions on character choices like these. For Claudine, I wanted her to be a glamour bard, because why not? I struggled on her a little bit before I remembered that bards exist, and that bards are about music, but when we're converting characters with set personalities into D&D characters, it is not just about music. It is about fashion, it is about prestige, it is about reputation, etc., etc. And Draculaura, our little gal here, Well, she's a druid, and specifically, she is a druid of the moon, because I love the moon, and also she's a vampire, so, like, it fit the most. And I think it's really funny, because out of the three of them, Draculaura doesn't look like her design really changed at all from what you would normally see her in, because she kind of already dresses in, like, the Victorian-esque style. So I didn't really need to change her, like, motifs at all. Draculaura has always been my favorite character, aside from Twyla. Twyla and Draculaura are probably always my, like, absolute most favorites. I don't know what it was about Draculaura that made me love her so much more than everyone else. But I loved her little accent, and I loved her character design. So that's probably why I loved her more than everyone else. I answered my own fucking question. Good night. When it came to, actually getting progress on this illustration, I focused more on making sure that I had really solid colors, so that I would have to do minimal shading. So I didn't really want to do shading if I really didn't have to. I did some here or there, especially with, like, the clothing, just to, like, differentiate stuffs, and, like, maybe with some of the, like, I don't know, skin. But overall, I think I've slowly gotten better at, I've slowly gotten better at making it to where my illustrations don't need shading in order to tell what's going on, or, like, see a difference in contrast and tone, because line art, and also because the line art is weighted and it looks good. But I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm gonna say that a lot also. You're gonna know that immediately, as I'm gonna say this a lot, that I had a lot of fun. But I genuinely love doing character designs. I think it's my strongest skill set, probably of all the skill sets that I have. It's just this. Oh, and also there was that coat. You see, I tried it, and then I also realized that I was gonna cover up all of the pleating that I had done on the skirt, as well as the chains on the skirt, and then I just decided, no, I'm not gonna cover up my hard work. I want it to be seen, and I didn't plan on it being covered up. And yeah. You'll see I also took some inspiration from the Gen 3 designs, because they've slowly grown on me. I've learned to accept the Gen 3 designs over time. I will never accept Laguna. That is a fact. But enough on the main trio. We're on to my personal picks. And of course, we're starting with Twyla. Now, I think Twyla is Twyla's obvious. Twyla, if you had to think, just guess. I'm gonna give you guys, like, 3 seconds to guess what Twyla's class is, and if you saw me write it down, no, you didn't. Forget about it immediately and guess. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's a warlock. What else did you expect? She's a warlock. Daughter of the boogeyman? Hell yeah! Yeah! Okay, so also, in addition to Daughter of the Boogeyman, I made her a Lurker of the Deep specific subclass, because I don't know why. It gave me vibes, and I liked it. I was stuck between Lurker of the Deep and also Great Old One, but I decided Lurker in the Deep, given the fact that she likes the shadows and everything. That just gives shadow guy vibes, so I went with that instead, and that was my first pick. In fact, Twyla was the first one I wanted to do, and is why I did this illustration of turning Monster High characters into these. So, like I said in the beginning, I've gotten a lot of comments since posting, these turning characters into D&D characters videos and such. And I've got a lot of interesting requests for, series to do next. Like I said, I got one request for Ninjago, and I It's silly, but I kind of do want to do it if enough people are interested in fucking Ninjago as a D&D adventuring group. I think that could be funny. I also got Dog with a blog. I had a lot of requests for continuing on the Strawberry Shortcake series, which I would be more than happy to do. I know I got Winx, which would be absolutely amazing to get to do because I freaking loved Winx. Childhood. It's my entire childhood. Oh, and now that we're on Howleen, I can talk about what I had in mind for her. So, just like her big sister, Howleen is obsessed with fashion and experimenting and trying to figure out who she really is and what her kind of stance and purpose in the world is. And I thought that nothing better thematically would be for Howleen to also be a bard. However, I didn't give Howleen a subclass because I don't think she would actually choose one. I think she would be interested in bard in general, but when it comes to picking her niche and her specific, I think she would have a really hard time sticking to one. And I think that mechanically, I don't know how it would go, never picking a subclass or, changing your subclass every so often. But narratively, it definitely works. And I know that if I had a player who wanted to toy with the idea of someone switching subclasses every so often, and part of their character journey being that they finally find one that fits them, I think as a DM I would allow that. Now, for Rebecca. Rebecca is a robot, of course, so in D&D terms, she would be a warforged. And obviously, I had to make her, an artificer. However, I also couldn't think of a subclass that fits Rebecca as, personality-wise or mechanically, like how she interacts with the world in Monster High. That kind of fits with the subclasses we have now for Artificer. They're very battle-focused, and that's wonderful. The overall class of Artificer fits her extremely well, making things and, putting magic in them. I think that works wonderful with her. I kept looking through and researching all of the current subclasses of Artificer, and I didn't vibe with any of them for her. Mechanically, she would have to pick one. But if she was a player, I think if someone was really dedicated to the main aspect of artificing rather than the subclasses, they really don't vibe with the subclasses, I'd probably sit down and make a homebrew subclass that fits more into what they're looking of. Because I wish there was a subclass of Artificer that, focused more on the aspect of creating inventions, imbuing them with magic and everything. Because, yes, that is the main getup of the Artificer class, but there is no subclass that goes on with that main aspect. It's hard to explain, but it's kind of like how creation bards are now a thing, where through music they can create physical, tangible items and objects with a certain value. And I feel like there should just be something similar for Artificer, considering that they are concretely making things. I don't know. There should just be one for inventing and making items that isn't just the basic subclass. It's a big tangent, but I get really in about, the subclasses in D&D because playing around with them just really makes or breaks a character and your understanding of said character. So, as of right now, Rebecca and Howleen don't have subclasses. If you guys could think of any, and you got good reasons as to why you think they would be one another, I would love to hear what you think. Because this is also just me talking into the void and trying to figure out, what I'm doing and such. But I don't know. I like interacting with my audience a lot, so I like hearing your guys' unique perspectives on what you think things are. As far as the outfits are concerned, I had only a little bit of trouble getting started with the concept because a lot of Monster High fashions can very easily be translated into, like, my idea of, like, a D&D outfit or, like, a fantasy outfit. But I do feel like because Monster High is so fashion-based that I kept a lot of the original aspects of their clothing and made it look less fantasy-focused and more like this would be the actual Dolls Company take on the fantasy concept, if that makes sense. Because I kept looking, it was specifically the Howleen that I kept looking at, but I just looked at her from afar, and I kept thinking, this could honestly exist already as, like, a doll concept. Like this outfit, this, like, character model, like, this could already exist if, like, the Doll Company wanted to. And I think that's something that's really interesting about these designs that I made, especially with, like, some aspects that I chose to do with keeping certain character motifs. Like, Claudine is really associated with that cheetah print. I see it on so many of her outfits. That I think I subconsciously took a doll costuming route when creating the outfits for these characters. So, I don't know. I have no way that this could be a reality, but I think it would be really cool one day to see kind of like a D&D-esque line of Monster High, like, outfit series and stuff. I don't really know what I'm saying, but obviously they'd probably be, like, a little bit more funky, a little more edgy, but I could especially see the Howleen outfit as, like, a little outfit for her. I don't know. I had so much fun creating them back to back. Here is the final image of our main trio. I'm gonna give y'all some zoom-ins and you can really appreciate them and look at them and stuff. I love how they came together, and I think the background that I drew really kind of helps set the scene a little more, but I don't know. It's just something about character design really makes me happy, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm really excited to think of more things to turn into D&D parties and such. I think it would be really fun to expand on this series. But that is all the time that I have for today. So I hope you guys really, really enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see as a series next, and I can run a poll and see which one wins after I get enough comments on it. But after all that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much to my subscribers. I could not have done this without you guys. And thank you especially to my patrons. They include Octopus Lion, Rain Falling Into Your Coffers, and Elliot McNeil. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week, probably. I have nothing else to say. Bye-bye.